dentures, it's a normal. As promised, I'm gonna do a little update today and let you guys know how I'm doing with the new teeth. Um, First of all, I couldn't be more thrilled with how they came out. I'm absolutely delighted. I think they look great. They fit great. As I said yesterday, I did have to glue my bottom plate because it fits great, but it's loose. So I did have to use some adhesive, and I'm talking a very little bit, and it's good and solid. My top plate, I haven't had to use any adhesive at all. It fits like a glove. I mean, and it's good and snug. I am gonna have to call my dentist and have them make some adjustments because the parts that I talked about up here yesterday are pretty sore. Not to the point that I can't eat or whatever, but I mean they're pretty tender, so they're gonna have to remove a little bit of the denture stuff up there so that it doesn't go up so high. I'm eating like a champ with these things. Last night I had a huge chef salad with the works, and it was amazing. Still having to do little bites and things like that, but I'm not having any problems at all chewing. And just as a thing here, I'm gonna cover up the name so they can't say, but this is, I mean, they're always safe anyway. These are cashews. Oops, so I dropped them in the floor. And I mean, you can see they're cashews, but I'm not having any trouble at all. That crap about, and I don't say crap, so they told me that to try to chew on both sides at the same time, I can't. I tried. It doesn't work. Because when I try to chew on both sides at the same time, I get choked. But this actually tastes really good, so I'm gonna take it a bite. And forgive me for talking with food in my mouth, folks. But one of the first things that I ate yesterday was ice. Grabbed a chunk of ice and just chomped away. Tortilla chips, loving it. And that was one of the funny things. Damn it. Still have some underwear. I ate a drink. The more things I try, the more that I find that I can eat. Tortilla chip. Not a problem in the world. And once again, I have a very small amount of adhesive on my bottom jaw. And when I say small, there's a couple of dots at the very back of the plate and one at the front. Set it in, bite down really good for a couple of seconds and make sure that it seats all the way around. I'm good to go. And my phone is going nuts again. Sorry, guys. But I couldn't have been more surprised at how easy it is to chew with them. Now, as far as biting into things, biting down on things to just, to take a bite of something is interesting. I ate a banana yesterday and didn't have any trouble eating it. Just had to take really small bites. Um, Tried to eat a ham sandwich yesterday. Not so much. It and I don't want to say it wasn't painful to try to take a bite. It just it's very awkward because you don't. It's not like with your natural teeth or whatever. It's not. You don't. You don't know how much pressure to use, and it it's awkward to say the least. But I'm learning. I did take them out last night and did the whole brushing, cleaning, soaking. I will say this, and I showed this to you guys before, but I am using the. Let's see if I can find it here. Digging in the ominous base of my purse, which anybody that carries a purse knows that's like, you know, a black hole. What I'm using is the Polygrip Free, and it doesn't have any colored flavors, dyes, any of that. And it is the super strong all-day hold by Polygrip. This is not a sponsored link, so they're not paying me to say that, but I was happy with the way it held. I was happy with the fact that it didn't have any taste or anything like that. Now, having said that, when I went to take my teeth out last night and clean them and put them up for the night, because I did take them out when I went to bed last night, just to let my gums kind of normalize and stuff. Getting that adhesive off your gums is infuriating. That stuff is like rubber cement, and it is gross. That is the only time yesterday that I gagged, was trying to get that adhesive off my gums because it feels so gross. It is slimy and sticky, and I understand now why it keeps the teeth where they belong, but good gravy, like getting it off of there was almost impossible. I did, however, discover that a good big old mouthful of Listerine for a couple of seconds, swished around in there, kind of while you got it in your mouth, kind of like use your tongue and rub on the spots where that adhesive is, and the alcohol and the adhesive in the mouthwash will turn that stuff loose. But it was nasty. And I you know, and unfortunately, it's a necessary evil, because if not, right now that bottom plate would be bouncing around. I'm not having a whole lot of trouble with things getting up underneath my plate. I did, you know, yesterday I have to take my top plate out and kind of rinse it out a little bit after I ate, just because I had gotten some. Like I said, I had salad, and I had gotten, and believe it or not, I always laugh when I heard people say this, but I got a tomato seed stuck up in between, like where the top of the denture meets the top of your gum up here. It was just right there at the top, and I could not get it out. I tried rinsing my mouth out. I could not get it. I ended up having to take my top plate out to get it out. And it wasn't that it was hurting me. It was just I could feel it up there, and it was driving me nuts. But I couldn't be happier with how they turned out. I noticed today that I'm not having as much trouble talking. I'm a lot more confident talking with them, because I spent a lot of time last night, you know, chattering just to get used to how they feel, and to get used to, you know, kind of how to maneuver with them. I don't know that I'm going to get to a point where I want to wear them to bed or at night. Just because I think that my gums need those couple hours to just breathe, I guess. Now I do know people that wear them 24/7, and only take them out to clean them. And, you know, I may get to that point at some point in time, but right now I'm just trying to get used to them, and I don't want my mouth to be so sore that they're uncomfortable and that I feel like I need to take them out. But, it's like I said, I couldn't be happier with the outcome. I think they look great. Um, and I'm slowly but surely, getting more confident with them, talking and drinking and things like that. I did discover how to take multiple swallows or something with my teeth. After trial and error and a couple of bottles of water, I figured it out. And like I said, everything that I was worried about, or that I was anticipating was going to be an issue, or you know things that I didn't think that I was going to be able to eat right off the bat. Like, you guys saw, chips, nuts, things like that. I chewed a piece of gum last night, and it was weird, but I managed. um and I didn't, it wasn't overly complicated. It just, it took me a minute to kind of figure out. But other than that, I'm, like I said, I could not be more thrilled with the way that they turned out, and the total look of them, the way they feel. And I mean, no set is going to come out perfect that doesn't need some sort of adjustment. That's just kind of part of it. Um, and the point is that, you have to go into this with the idea that when you get them, know that there's going to have to be some adjustment. You're going to have some, alteration made. Because no matter how perfect the impression, no matter, how well made they are, the fact remains is that, short of making them right in your mouth, there's no way for them to really, really, really get, precision down to where they're going to fit perfect without any adjustment. That's just not realistic. So you have to be able to wear them for a couple of days and to give yourself time to figure out where the adjustments are needed. And just kind of know that even after you get your teeth, that you're gonna have to go back for a couple more appointments to make sure that everything is fitting properly, that there's no sore spots, that there's, that things are seating the way that they should. And look, again, I was very, very, very surprised that my top plate fit so well. To the point that it's a little bit awkward to try to get it out. It suctions up so well that I have to kind of maneuver. And I know this sounds stupid, but I have to kind of stick my finger in the back and put my fingernail just underneath the edge of the back of the plate and pull down just a hair to get it to break that suction so that I can get it out, because otherwise I can't get it out. But which, I'm not complaining about, but I never anticipated that it would fit that well. I also never anticipated that the teeth would feel so small in my mouth. They feel small, and I never anticipated that. Because I mean, when you think of your natural teeth, to you, perception wise, when you run your tongue across them, they feel big, well, the dentures don't, because the gum material on the dentures comes down further on the tooth on the inside than it does on the outside. And that's to keep them secure so they don't move in the denture plate. And I didn't know that going into this. So what you feel on the inside is just barely the edge of the tooth. And then when you run your tongue over the outside, I mean, you can feel, the tooth and the gum or whatever. But they don't feel as big as natural teeth, is what I'm saying. And that I didn't anticipate. The teeth also go further back into the jaw than what I had figured. Um, which, I found kind of amusing, but it goes further back than what I thought it would. But all in all, I'm 100% thrilled with them. And my endeavors to try new things, will continue. I'm actually thinking that tonight we're going to try some red meat and see how that goes, which may be an utter disaster, but we're going to try. Because, I want to get back to as normal a diet and as normal a way of life as I've ever had. And to do that, is just trial and error. You just have to keep trying. And I'm sure that over time, things will settle out and now, they'll just seem like natural teeth to me. Another thing is, I've noticed today that I don't have as much saliva as I did yesterday. Yesterday, I just felt like I was going to drool on myself. It seemed like I was drowning in it. Today doesn't seem like that. In fact, I noticed I had to go run some errands and do some things a while ago, and I was driving and noticed that my mouth was very dry, which kind of surprised me. But I'm slowly but surely, finding that they do feel natural for the most part. My plate doesn't feel intrusive or clunky, I guess, maybe. Because that was my biggest fear, is that I was going to feel like I had all this crap in my mouth, and, it was going to feel so unnatural. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't feel, like it did with my natural teeth. I'm very well aware that I have this giant piece of stuff in the roof of my mouth. But it's not as bad as I thought it would be. The bottom plate doesn't bother me at all. I don't find myself wanting to play with it, or, flicking my tongue at it or whatever. It doesn't seem to really bother me. The only thing that's irritating to me is the top plate is those spots where it's sore. And, occasionally when I get a drink, because, I mean, of course, especially trying to drink off a straw, the suction, I can feel that plate suck up further, like it's being pulled up further, and that does kind of hurt a little bit. Blowing my nose, that's interesting. I never thought about blowing my nose being an issue, but I went to blow my nose this morning, and it actually broke the suction on my top plate, which was no big deal. I just, clenched together and it sucked right back up, and it wasn't an issue. But I never even thought about, blowing my nose not, being an issue. But, I mean, all in all, it's been a lot more of an easy transition than what I thought it would be. And which is absolutely a godsend at this point. So it's been a lot of relief, I guess, on my part, because this was such anticipation, and then to come to the point where you get your teeth, and I was so afraid that I wasn't going to like them, or that they weren't going to fit properly, or, that I wasn't going to be able to eat or whatever. And to get them and be doing as well with them as I am now, is amazing. And I'm truly blessed to have them, and thankful that everything has worked out the way it has. So I will keep you guys updated as the week goes on and let you know how things go. But I'm going to sign off for now, and hope you guys have a great day. See you later.